Today, we're talking about taking responsibility for your emotions. We'll be talking to that version of us, and we all have it, who blames others for how we feel, who expects the people in our lives to behave in such a way that pleases us to make us feel better, and the version of us who reacts poorly when they don't. But also, we'll be talking to the version of us who doesn't take responsibility for our joy either, who chalks up our success to good luck and gives credit to others, but never to ourselves. If this sounds like you, I'm going to give you fair warning. Today's episode might be a little uncomfortable, but I really do encourage you to sit through the discomfort. Because ultimately, what I want this episode to offer you is liberation from blaming others for how you think, feel, and act, and at the same time, empowerment to show up as the man you want to be in any situation, no matter what others say or do. Okay, let's get into it. So first, I kind of wanted to get into coach mode and explain two key concepts that we'll be going back to. Those two concepts are, or terms, maybe I'll call it, are emotional immaturity and emotional maturity. Immaturity, maturity. Okay, let's be honest. We call ourselves adults, but many of us still function as children emotionally. And that's because we were raised by people who were also emotionally immature themselves. We talked about this in the last episode about feeling your feelings. Okay, this is a beautiful segue from that episode. So most of us were never taught how to feel our feelings, just like most of us were never taught how to be emotionally mature adults. There was no class in school, not at least the school that I went to, that was called How to Handle Your Emotions Like an Adult, though I believe there should be. And if your parents didn't model it for you, then how in the hell could you possibly have known or learned this? Okay, so these two concepts, emotional immaturity, we'll start there. That's the one that we all start there. We all start in emotional immaturity, and some of us just don't continue. We kind of stay stuck there. So emotional immaturity is when we don't learn how to manage our emotions like adults. Here's how you know when you're in emotional immaturity. First sign is you're blaming literally everyone else for how you feel. The president, your boss, your spouse, your kids, your friends, anyone who can, they are responsible, or they're responsible for how you feel. Think, if we're talking about emotional maturity, another sign is when you think of a toddler, think of an immature toddler, how do they respond emotionally? They react, right? They're emotionally reactive, throwing temper tantrums, having these outbursts, reacting poorly to lots of little things, or potentially shutting down and stonewalling in defiance. No, I'm not going to open up to you. Okay. Another thing that toddlers love to do is sulk in the corner and expect someone to come. Oh, are you okay? Let me come take care of you. I'm just going to, and then what they do is they just sulk there because they know someone's going to come save them, right? So that's how you know you're in emotional immaturity. It's really expecting other people to make you happy or to make you feel better. It's putting all that responsibility onto the other and not taking it on your own. You know you're in emotional immaturity when you have a constant trend of feeling powerless and victimized, even as an adult. Okay. And sometimes a lot of people will resort to emotional manipulation to get their needs met instead of simply saying, I need a hug. They'll do all these other things and simply instead of saying the truth of what they need. So yeah, ultimately, it's not taking responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, or actions. Okay, let's switch. Contrast with emotional maturity. It's taking full responsibility for your emotions. And like we talked about last episode, it's feeling them fully, allowing them to be there, not resisting them, not avoiding them, and being emotionally responsive, not reactive. Responsive is intentional, reacting is automatic. Maturity is knowing that happiness is an inside job, just like all of our emotions are an inside job. And when you are more in emotional maturity, you will feel more empowered and in control of your emotional state most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, even when it's a difficult emotion, anger, sadness, shame, disappointment. And you can communicate your needs clearly, even when you're feeling a negative, quote unquote, negative emotion. Even when you're angry or frustrated, you can simply say, you know what, I'm feeling angry and frustrated right now. You don't need to necessarily act it out and like throw things at people. Okay. It's knowing that you get to choose how you respond in any given moment, regardless of what's going on around you. Even when you're raging on the inside and you have the urge to punch someone in the face, you can respond intentionally, not react impulsively. That is a key difference. Okay. Now, how do you get from emotional immaturity to emotional maturity? That is this episode. It's called Taking Responsibility for Your Emotions. That's what we're doing here today. So, why does this matter? Lots of reasons. When you learn to step into emotional maturity, you reclaim your power. So you're not looking to others to make you feel good. You own that responsibility yourself, and you stop outsourcing your peace of mind to other people. Now, let's be real. We're all human here, all of us. We're going to have moments where we react and we go back into emotional immaturity. We all have that. We all do. The purpose here is not to get it perfect. It's just about having that awareness, more emotional awareness. And when you catch yourself in those moments, you don't beat yourself up, right? You don't panic. You just check in and say, here I go, doing that thing that I want to do. And then you can own it. And if you did make a mess, if you did react and say something or do something that was not cool, then you own it and you own that too. And you apologize where you need to, but you don't ever beat yourself up. You own it and you move on. Now, I want to make a note here for anyone who has experienced trauma or were victimized growing up. This conversation is not at all about blaming you for your pain, because what happened to you was not your fault. But healing only becomes possible when you take back the power today, now, how you choose to respond to that going forward. Okay. So emotional responsibility is not about denying your past. It's really about reclaiming what that means going forward. You know, as you listen today, I always want to have these deeper discussions with that air of self-compassion. We don't have these conversations to judge ourselves, to poo-poo on ourselves, and to say, "Oh my God, I'm such a terrible person. Oh my God, I'm so emotionally mature. What's wrong with me?" No, 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 no. We don't do that. I encourage you to approach this conversation with curiosity, not criticism, and just notice, because we all do it, where emotional immaturity does show up in your life and where you might be ready to take a little bit more responsibility for how you feel.